Welcome Facebook friends and YouTube friends and everyone else joining us. There's a little bit of a look at my messy desk. Need to clean that up today. Anyway, I want to do a live stream today and talk about these three paintings. And more importantly, I want to talk about learning to paint progressively. So that's what we'll be talking about in this live stream. And we'll probably go for about 10 minutes or so. We'll give you a bit of a look at some paintings that I've been doing this week and how I've been going about building, I guess, basic sort of stepping stones with your painting and learning progressively. So hopefully my internet connection's better. So if you're watching this live, pardon me, got a bit of a sore throat. If you're watching this live, then let me know. Is the internet better? Even if you're watching it on the replay, I'd love to know. Is the internet connection better than it has been in the past? Always appreciate your feedback. So welcome to those people who are just joining us. Rod Moore here, obviously, from Moore Art School. Let us know where you're watching from. And more importantly, I want to find out from you if the internet connection is better than it has been from previous streams. So use the comments and let me know. Let me know where you're from, what your name is, and how the connection is on the internet. So what I want to talk about is, and I'm just sort of delaying here to give a few more people time to jump on, but I want to talk about how to improve your paintings progressively. Step by step. Now, with the Moore method, we have a 3-step process, which is all good and well. But how do you map out a sort of a plan to improve your painting over time? So I'm going to just walk you through 3 paintings here that I've got on my board. These are paintings I've been doing this week. They're little studies, little exercises. They're not meant to be finished paintings by any stretch of the imagination, but they're good little examples. Now, the reason why I was painting these is because I've been filming this week a brand new course on acrylic painting, and it's called Acrylic Painting: An Introduction to Acrylic Painting for Beginners. So it's designed for people who, maybe are just starting out painting and learning some basic skills around painting with acrylics. So it's going to be a great little course, probably about 4.5 hours of total video time in the course. And it's certainly one that I think you'll enjoy doing, even if you've been painting in acrylics. And I'm going to actually give it away for free to 100 people next week. So I'll tell you more about that in a moment. So these 3 paintings are from my efforts this week of filming and editing and everything for that course. So I'll tell you more about that in a moment. But for now, let me know your name, whereabouts you're watching from, and if you've been on a live stream or watched one of my recordings of a live stream in the past, is the video better today? It should be, right? Fingers crossed, it should be. So let me know. So let us start talking about these 3 paintings. So I've been filming this course, Acrylic Painting: An Introduction for Beginners. And so these 3 have all been done in acrylics, right? And the idea with this course, I want to get the Moore method of painting out to more and more people around the world. So I've been putting together a complete course for Udemy. Now, Udemy is a large site which has about 8 million members, and they have a lot of art classes up there. So I thought I'd create a course just for Udemy. And I want to give you guys who are already sort of connected to what we're doing here at Moore Art School, I want to give 100 of you a free copy of that in exchange for you giving me a review. So that'll be announced early next week. So thank you, Shelley. Good to hear. I've had the NBN connected. Good to see you again, Shelley. Welcome to everyone in WA. I've had the NBN connected, but it's not exactly as good as I thought it would be, but hopefully the stream is better so we can start doing regular live streams. So anyway, I've been recording this course for Udemy, and it's about how to start painting in acrylic paint. And it's designed for beginners, and we talk about the Moore method, and we talk about some of the characteristics of acrylic painting. And then I've got 3 different projects. So that's the first project. Okay, and incidentally, if you're a member of the Learn to Paint Club, then this month we're doing this exact project as well, because I really believe that practicing skills is important. So that's the first project, And then we advanced to a basic landscape project, and I'll tell you why I've got these as a progression in a moment, but a basic little landscape painting, right? Anyone can do that if you follow the steps. That's a beginner level painting, very easy to do, and fun little painting project to do. And then from there we go to this painting here, which again, it's a study, it's a little practice painting, designed for beginners. It's certainly not a finished painting that you put in an exhibit, but it's a good little sort of study painting for people wanting to practice and learn. So here's why this is important, right? Why I put the course together the way I did was the progression. So if you have a look at this cube, the reason why I started out with what we call a values study, studying and learning about the values, is because it's the foundation of all realism painting. If you can't create that sort of three-dimensional look and feel in a painting by the use of values, then you're going to struggle to actually produce a landscape or a seascape or anything else that has a realism to it, a degree of realism. Now, if you want to paint abstracts, that's fine, don't worry about values. But for those of us who want to paint, do paintings that have a degree of realism, then values is really important. Now, I wasn't planning on doing this, but excuse my mess. I'll just come through here for a moment. And I'll just show you an example of a painting that's been done. Now, this didn't really do that well at the recent art show, but that's my Mary Valley River painting, right, which I just recently had in the art show. Unfortunately, it was all modern art, but anyway. This painting has a real sense of depth to it because it's using the right value structure, okay, and the right understanding of aerial perspective. And I think if you want to be body's aching, I can't get up. I think if you want to be a representational painter, you've got to get that sense of how do you paint realism, right? How do you get that light and dark into that painting, which we had a look at these the other day. There's a sense of depth to these paintings, right? So let me go back to my studio. Just walking you through my house here. Sorry about that. I should have been more organised, not to worry. Now you can tell that my studio is a work in progress. It's a mess. But I'm an artist, so I use that excuse, right? So anyway, back to this. This is why I started the course with this little values study, because values is everything in representational painting, right? And aerial perspective is the other thing. So I started the course off with that, okay? Now, the third project, so that's the first project in the new course. The third project, then, if we come up here and have a look at this cottage, right? Now, you have a look at that cottage. Notice this is the dark side here, okay? This is the light, middle tone here. And if this had a flat surface on top, then that would be the roof. See, that's the dark, the mid, the light, right? And then the plane here, the tabletop, is the light as well. So let's come back up here and have another look. Basically, that cottage, all that cottage is that cube, right? If you can do that cube, then you can paint a little cottage. Now, the cottage is a bit rough, because it was a demonstration and it's not as perfect as it could be. If you took your time and you weren't talking all the way through it, you could do a really good job of that. But it's the same shape. All I did, when you see this video demonstration of this one, you'll see that I just drew out the same cube, right? And then I put a little roof on it. And then I put a chimney and extended it. But it's basically the same thing, the same value structure. Can you see that? Give me a yes or a like if you understand what I'm saying here, right? So that's the first thing that I did. And then from there, once we got an understanding of, thank you whoever that was, I appreciate it. So I know I'm not talking to myself. From there, what we did was we moved to this simple landscape. And the reason why I did a simple landscape was because I then wanted to demonstrate aerial perspective. So values is important in representational painting, right? But there's other elements to aerial perspective which are important as well. So the other elements are that warmer colours come forward and then the cooler colours go back into the distance, right? So that's one of the key elements. The other element is closer to us in the foreground, colours are more saturated. They're stronger colours. You can see there's reds and greens in here, right? But when you get off into the distance, they grey off. The saturation starts to grey right off. And so there are a couple of little key things to know about aerial perspective. And if you combine values with aerial perspective, then you can really start to create a sense of realism in your paintings. And then that's what we did in the third project, which I'll show you. Just while I'm talking, let me know where you're watching from. I'd love to know where everyone is, because what I want to do is, now that I've got the NBN connected, I want to try and work out best time of day and week to start doing regular live streams. So let me know whereabouts you are in the comments there. I'd appreciate it. So that was the second project. A little demonstration of how to get a feel for landscape painting, but with the use of aerial perspective. Okay, so it's a logical progression. Values, aerial perspective. There's still a use of values. We've got our darkest dark right in the foreground here, and then as we go back into the distance, our darks get lighter. Right, our greens become a bit lighter and a bit grayer. Okay, when you stand back and look from a distance, it has a sense of depth into it. Okay, so when we combine those two projects, we basically end up with this one. And hey, Michael in Canada, welcome. I'm not sure what time of day it is there for you, but I appreciate you joining me, and hopefully we'll see you on more of these in the future. So yeah, we combine these two projects into this one. A little simple cottage in a landscape, right? That's all it is. But when you can paint a little cottage in a landscape, if I come back a bit from this, when you look at it from a distance, if that was framed up and on a wall, it has a real sense of depth to it. Now, I'm not sure if that's translating entirely on the video here. Hopefully it is, and hopefully the quality is better. But basically, in that one painting, you've got everything you need to know about landscape painting in a sense of realism. So we've got the value structure on our cottage here in the same way we had on the cube. And we've got using aerial perspective, we've got a sense of depth happening here. We've got values on the tree. We've got this light and dark side of the tree. And then we've got this sort of progressive layers of depth. You know, the dark in this bush here, that one there, right, is darker than this one here, than that one, than this one, and then we lose the yellows and reds out the back there. Hey Nancy, thank you. North America. North Carolina. Okay, great. I had a friend who lived in Knoxville, Tennessee, so not too far from you. And it's the evening there. Cool. So you're on the, you'd be on the East Coast, I would think. That'd be right. So thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Hopefully the video is coming through clearly. Better than it has been in the past, apart from my hand shaking a little bit. So there you go. This is the new course that I'm doing. It's 3 projects, and it's designed to be progressive. You know, if you get the first one down, understanding values, then you do this second one here, understand aerial perspective, and then you move to putting those two together into a simple little landscape. And you know, if you're just starting out painting in acrylics or even oils, and you complete this project, it's going to be a good little painting to get framed and put up on the wall. And then you can start doing your own versions of it. With the understanding of the principles behind it, you can then start to take photos of, you know, your favorite landscapes and start to create your own paintings, right? So here's the thing. I've spent all week editing, filming, and creating this new course. It's called Acrylic Painting, and an introduction to acrylic painting for beginners is the new course, right? And it's going to go up on Udemy, which is a site that hosts thousands of courses, and they have 8 million members. And the reason why I've decided to put it up onto Udemy is I want to get the more method of painting out to more and more people. And so I want to try and tap into the people on there who are already taking art classes who maybe haven't heard about us. So it's going to be a paid course on Udemy. But because, you know, you're already connected with what we're doing here, you're on my Facebook channel, and hopefully you're on my email database, I'm going to give away 100 copies of the course to people who are interested, right? So if this interests you, you want to get a copy of this course and learn about this progression and basic landscape painting concepts and how to create a degree of realism, if that interests you, then you'll want to get one of those 100 copies that I'll give away next week. And look, if the 100 go really quickly, I'll give away another 100 to my own database, you know, so I don't mind you guys having a copy for free. But what I'm going to ask is that you do a review. So if you like the course and you think it's got value, then leave a review on Udemy for me, because that'll help spread the word. If you think there's some improvements we could make, or you had some challenges with the course or something you didn't like about it, then send me an email and let me know about it, and we'll get that fixed. But I'm going to get that away. So if you're on my database, look out for an email from me probably Monday or Tuesday. I'll send that out, and I'll give you instructions on how to go and register for the course at Udemy, and you'll be able to register for it for free using the link that I'll give you. Otherwise, I think we're going to put it up for $40 or something like that. It's about 4.5 hours worth of video, and very intensive step by step. This project here takes nearly 2 hours to do, because I break it down into a lot of detail for you. Okay, so it's going to be a great course, and I'm really proud of it. I think it's come up fantastic, and as I said, I want to give it away to you guys. So look out for an email next week, and I'll love to hear your feedback. I'd love to see you leave 5-star reviews for it if you like the course. So anyway, I'm going to wrap up there. If this live stream has turned out okay, if the quality is not too bad, then we shall start doing regular live streams, and I'll start doing some painting demos and things like that for you live out of my studio. So thanks for joining us, and I'll talk to you all real soon. I appreciate you guys in different time zones as well joining us. Have a great day. Cheers.